They say parenting changes you. But what if you're already one of the rarest personality types in the world, the INFJ? Does that make parenting easier, harder, or just different? Today, I'm pulling back the curtain, not just as a creator, but as a mom raising daughters at the top of their class in a Nigerian American household. And trust me, INFJ parenting is both a superpower and a struggle. Stick with me because we'll uncover the strengths INFJs bring to their kids, the hidden struggles most people never talk about, and how culture and personality collide in surprising ways. And don't click away. At the end, I'll give you tools to spot whether you're parenting from your core INFJ self or from stress and burnout. Part 1, INFJ Superpowers as Parents, Empathy, and Intuition. As an INFJ, empathy is our superpower. Neuroscience even shows we light up the brain's empathy superhighway when reading people's feelings. In parenting, that means we often sense our child's mood before they say a word. For me, it shows up at the dinner table. I can tell when my daughter is overwhelmed, even if she's smiling, because I feel it in my gut. I'll pause, ask, what's really going on, and outpours the whole story. That's INFJ intuition in action. We don't just see feelings, we feel them. And my daughters thrive in this space. Last year, one graduated top of her class and even received a presidential award for academic excellence. My daughter, now in 8th grade, was handpicked for her school's tech track. That's not just achievement, that's empathy meeting high expectations. But before you think INFJ parenting is all gold stars and deep talks, wait until you hear how this same empathy can turn into exhaustion. Part 2, INFJ parenting struggles, burnout, perfectionism, and overprotection. Here's the truth. The same empathy that makes us close to our kids can also drain us. Psychologists call it empathy fatigue. Parents who absorb their children's emotions are more likely to burn out. And INFJs, we do this daily. I'll admit, I've stayed up nights worrying about my daughter's futures as if their challenges were my own. It's like living 2 lives at once. Then there's perfectionism. Growing up in a Nigerian household, perfection wasn't optional. My mom, who I suspect was an INFJ herself, drilled into us, be relentless, be number one. That pressure shaped me, and yes, I carry it into my own parenting. Sometimes my expectations for my kids are sky high, but here's the danger. INFJ idealism can become overprotection or guilt. We want our kids to succeed so badly that we forget they're still kids. So what happens when INFJ parents push too hard? And how can culture make it even more complicated? Let's dig deeper. Built from tradition. Why INFJs don't wing it. I didn't just stumble into structure, I was raised with it. In a 2-parent Nigerian household with 8 kids, structure wasn't optional. It was how we survived. I'm a middle child, so I played both roles. I led my younger siblings, and I followed the example of my older ones. Growing up in an Igbo household, there was a saying, "Your name is your first reputation." We were taught that how we carry ourselves reflects not just on us, but on our family, our village, our culture. That sense of legacy stayed with me, and it shows up in my INFJ parenting every day. I don't raise my daughters casually. I raise them deliberately with vision. But here's the kicker. What happens when that deeply rooted structure meets the emotional sensitivity of an INFJ? That's where the complexity begins. Part 3, culture, plus INFJ, personality, Nigerian American lens. In Nigerian culture, resilience and achievement are celebrated. It's not just about grades, it's about honor, reputation, and proving that hard work pays off. In my home, it was normal to be pushed to overachieve. And I see how this INFJ perfectionism merges with culture when I parent my own daughters. Yes, they've excelled. Principal's honor roll, awards, leadership roles. But here's the conflict. Am I empowering them, or am I recreating the same relentless standard I grew up under? That's the INFJ paradox. We nurture, but we also push. We protect, but sometimes we pressure. It's a double-edged sword. And if you've ever wondered why INFJ parents sometimes seem both inspiring and intense,
Here's where Carl Jung helps explain it. Part 4, Jung's insight into INFJ parenting.
Carl Jung said our stress flips our functions. For INFJs, our natural intuition and empathy can shut down under pressure, and we slide into harsh logic or over-control. That's when the warm, attuned parent can suddenly become rigid, critical, or withdrawn. I felt this. After a long day, I'll catch myself nitpicking homework instead of celebrating effort. It's not who I want to be. It's my shadow creeping in. Recognizing this is key. It's not that you're a bad parent, it's that your functions are under stress. Awareness is the first step to shifting back. Can parenting change your personality? Here's something most people don't realize. Your personality doesn't always stay fixed. In fact, a study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that major life roles, like becoming a parent, can shift your dominant traits. INFJs, under the right conditions, can become more assertive, more structured, even more extroverted in service of their children. And when you layer that with the cultural conditioning of Nigerian parenting, especially in Igbo communities where hierarchy, honor, and education are core values, you see how an INFJ might evolve to meet both inner ideals and cultural expectations. So if you're an INFJ who feels different since becoming a parent, you're not broken. You're adapting, just like our parents did. If this resonates, pause for a second, hit subscribe, because this series is about peeling back INFJ layers in ways most creators never dare to touch. Now let's wrap with tools you can use starting tonight. Part 5, tools for INFJ parents. So how do we parent from our INFJ strengths without burning out? Practice core versus current journaling. Write down, at my core, I value, versus currently I feel. That gap shows if you're parenting from stress. Set boundaries without guilt. Remember, structure is love. Your kids need consistency just as much as compassion. Carve out solitude. INFJs need time alone to recharge. Even 20 minutes of silence can make you a better, calmer parent. Here's the takeaway. INFJ parenting is powerful. We raise emotionally intelligent, values-driven kids, but our empathy and perfectionism can also push us to the edge. For me, the biggest lesson has been this. My daughters don't need me to be perfect. They need me to be present, attuned, and human. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you an INFJ parent, or did you grow up with one? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this series. Next up, we're diving into the dark side of INFJ empathy, how it can build or break relationships,